Hey everyone, and welcome to today's explainer. Okay, right off the bat, I just want you to do something for me. Seriously, just take a deep, slow breath. Drop those shoulders a bit. Feeling better? Good. Because today, we're totally stepping away from all the noise, the complex data, and the crazy hustle of daily life. We are zeroing in on something beautifully grounded. We're going on a little sensory journey together to create something universally cherished. Yep, we are talking about the simple, everyday magic of making the perfect cup of tea. It's a process that's honestly just as much about mindfulness and comfort as it is about the actual ingredients. So get cozy, clear your mind, and let's jump right into this relaxing little explainer.
Have you ever noticed how a simple cup of tea can literally instantly make your day feel better? It's genuinely fascinating, right? How this one unassuming beverage acts as like an anchor throughout our day. Whether you're just dragging yourself out of bed and need that gentle wake-up call, or you're taking a much-needed breather from work, or maybe you're finally winding down for the evening, tea just has this incredibly special way of bringing comfort. It is not just a drink, it's a reset button. It gives us this distinct, super reliable moment of relief, no matter what part of the day we find ourselves in.
So, let's make a perfect cup of tea together. Consider this an open invitation to step into the kitchen with me. We aren't just looking at a recipe from afar here. We are stepping right into the sensory experience of creating our own little pocket of peace. By walking through this together, we really get to understand the narrative arc of brewing tea. We'll see how just a handful of basic elements transform into a deeply comforting experience. So yeah, let's accept that invitation. Let's head to the kitchen, figuratively of course, and follow this whole process from the very first drop of water to that final comforting sip.
All right, here's the game plan. It's a 5-act story. We pour the water, add the tea leaves, add milk and sugar, let it boil, and finally strain. It seems so basic, doesn't it? But honestly, the beauty of this whole thing lies in how these ordinary physical actions just build on one another. So we're going to start right at step 1, finding our saucepan, getting it on the stove, and setting the stage for the magic.
The key here is absolute simplicity. Step 1. We literally just start by pouring exactly 1 cup of water into a saucepan and popping it on the stove. That's it. And as that water begins to heat up, we add just 1 teaspoon of tea leaves. Notice there's no complicated measuring apparatus needed here, no fancy gadgets, just the steady, mindful addition of 1 cup of water and 1 teaspoon of leaves. This singular focus is exactly what kicks off our whole process of comfort.
Now, as we move through heating up, adding the leaves, creating the creamy blend, and reaching that golden brown finish, a real-time transformation happens. Within mere moments of those leaves hitting the warming water, boom, a visible and aromatic shift occurs. You'll actually see the water changing color right before your eyes. And at the same time, it starts releasing this rich, super inviting aroma into the air. It's not just cooking, it's the very first sensory reward of the process. We're going from plain old water to something way more complex and inviting.
And now we reach the creamy transformation. Our water has changed color, that rich aroma is filling the air, and it's time to introduce the next key element to our saucepan. This is where the visual contrast becomes absolutely beautiful, taking our brew from this stark, dark infusion into something completely new and incredibly comforting. So let's talk about the exact mechanics of that transformation. We pour in 1 cup of milk, but and this is important, we don't just aggressively mix it. We stir gently. There's a real mindfulness required here. As you stir gently, you get to literally watch the tea transform into a soft, creamy blend. The dark liquid lightens, it swirls around, it's almost mesmerizing. Once you hit that perfect creamy consistency, you add sugar to your own personal taste and mix it well. You're tailoring this moment of comfort exactly to you.
Okay. Now we arrive at what I'd call the climax of our brewing journey. Let the tea boil. I really want to emphasize this part because, well, in the fast-paced world we live in, our instinct is almost always to rush, right? But we have to resist that urge. We let the tea boil for a few minutes. This is not a passive waiting period. It's an active period of creation. This is the peak of the process, where all your gentle stirring and precise measurements finally come together. And this brings us to what we can call the golden rule of boiling. Why is this step absolutely crucial? Because this is where the magic happens. The longer you allow these flavors to blend together in that bubbling saucepan, the richer and more satisfying your tea is going to become. Sure, it requires a little bit of patience, but the reward for that patience is immediate. Because as it boils, your entire kitchen is going to be filled with the incredibly comforting fragrance of freshly brewed tea. The experience literally expands beyond the saucepan and changes the whole atmosphere of the room.
So how do we know when it's perfectly done?
We look for a very specific visual milestone, a deep golden brown color. When you see that specific shade, it means the flavors have perfectly melded. At this precise moment, you turn off the heat. The act of cooking is totally done. Now, you carefully strain that beautifully colored liquid right into your favorite cup. Notice I said carefully. We want to maintain that sense of gentle mindfulness right through to the very end.
And there it is, the resolution. A warm, delicious cup of tea made with just a few ridiculously simple ingredients. But the real magic comes next, doesn't it? Taking that first sip, relaxing and fully enjoying that little moment of happiness you've just created for yourself. Honestly, that is what you should take away from this explainer. You haven't just boiled water and leaves. You have intentionally crafted a moment of happiness. You took simple ingredients and built a structured, comforting pause right into your day. I want to wrap things up with this really thought-provoking reminder. Sometimes the best things in life are also the simplest. Think about it. This process didn't require complex machinery or rare, expensive ingredients. It literally just required water, tea, milk, sugar, heat, and a few minutes of patient observation. Yet it yielded this profound sense of comfort. It's a great reminder to stay grounded and appreciate life's quiet, totally accessible moments. So I'll leave you with this question to ponder as we close out. What other simple, everyday rituals are you rushing through that might just hold the key to your next perfect moment of happiness? Thanks so much for joining me on this little journey today. Take care and enjoy your next cup of tea.